podcast that puts its money where its mouth is. I'm your host, Gridiron, and I'm joined by two members of the collective. Britt, what are you shaking your head at, Brett? I'm worried. Did I fluff it? Did I blow it?
Are we the only podcast that puts its money where its mouth is?
Yes, that is Brett Colson, the disciple. We're also joined by Mo Noir, the resident moose himself. Donnie's not with us. I don't know if it's poker related. He played in the WPT World Championship yesterday, found a bag, so I don't know if he has work or anything, but we have his picks. I do think, and this is why, this is the whole construct of this podcast, where what we say, the card that we make, is exactly what we are betting, right? As a collective, that is being inserted into the contest. Whereas other people, if you get this number, derp to derp, if it's this price, low, if you could get that. Like, there's no black and white. There's a lot of gray. Where for us, it is what it is. What we say is the literal card that we submit. So, yes, I think we are, maybe we were once the only. Now we're maybe amongst the few. But, yeah, we literally put our mouth.
Minus Tinker season. But, yes, you are right. We do submit most of our plays, if not like 95% of our plays.
Yeah, and our plays have been kicking us in the balls the last couple of weeks. Each member of the collective is doing much better than the card itself. 2-2-1 last week. If you can tell by my background, yes, it is light here, while it is dark for Brett and Mo, because I'm in the southern hemisphere. I'm in Sydney, Australia. Brett, I can feel your pain. It was 38 degrees here yesterday. Celsius. However, that's right. It was.
I was gonna say that's cool.
It was 100 degrees yesterday in Sydney. Triple digits. Mo, you've had some dumpings lately. I've seen you doing some snow walks with Felix.
Not much so far. It was just the one time, I think. How about you, Brett?
Didn't you have family stuck at your house one day because it snowed so much?
We got smacked. I think it was 3 weeks ago. We got absolutely crushed. And yeah, I had a random family stuck outside my house, and they were in my living room for 5 hours. We watched Monday Night Football. Like, it was just like, it was the most Buffalo thing you could possibly imagine. But nothing since. It's actually been pretty warm here. It's a mild December so far.
Wow. See, as I alluded to, 2-2-1 on the card last week. I went 3-2. Brett went 3-1-1. DP went 3-2, and Mo went 2-3. I mean, guys, we literally put a team on the card that was an underdog and kept their opponent to 3 points and didn't cover. Somebody explain it to me.
That's my top plays every week.
We got half a point.
I know, but come on. Come on.
It's gross.
And then, of course, the idiot Jets. I hate this team with such a burning passion. That made me more angry than the losses. The Patriots win on Thursday. They clear a path for you to get a top 3 pick and a potentially franchise-changing player. And Zach Wilson has the best game of his career.
Yeah, but you're still live for the playoffs. No. Rodgers is making his way back.
That's what you said in the Discord,
Yeah, you
Rich.
literally said that.
When did I say this? Weeks ago.
You said you said
a couple days ago.
There's a possible wild card, and then you put a picture of Aaron Rodgers in the chat.
That's just me being an idiot. I don't actually believe this is possible.
You being an idiot, also putting on the Jets again.
Last week. That was the right side.
Job.
That was the right side. You just needed
aiding the Jets, to be clear.
Aiding the Jets,
what he put on.
Yes.
Which was absolutely the wrong side.
I mean, okay, I guess Zach Wilson having the best game of his career is predictive now. That is a thing that we could assume will happen.
Stop capping for Tommy Boyle or whatever it is, Tim Boyle. You know this. You know this is a different player with a much different amount of talent, and it's a larger amount of talent.
Okay, fair enough. Let's get to split games. We'll do our best to get through it without DP here, and we'll start with a game that every single member of the collective has in their top 5 as the Washington Commanders travel to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. This was 5.5 on the look ahead, opened 6.5. I'm seeing 6s and 6.5 in real life, and it is listed at 6.5 in the contest. 83% 53% of the tickets are on the Rams, the absolute peak of their value after nearly winning outright on the road against the Ravens last week. And Brett and I are on the razor sharp side. We are Charlie Brown sprinting at the football, expecting to kick it and hoping that Sam Howell doesn't blow his dick into smithereens.
Been here before.
Yet Brett, who knows? Lucy just might slip the ball away from us.
I can't get to this number with the Rams. Like, I know they've been playing well, but this is still a piss poor defense that doesn't generate pressure. And that's how you can exploit this Commies team. Get to Howell, make him uncomfortable. I mean, this guy's shredded some bad defenses this year. I don't see why he can't have success here too. Off the bye, maybe the Commies have mailed it in, and this is just a terrible side, but this price is just too steep for me, and people seem to be thrilled to lay it. I gotta hear Mo on this one. I don't understand it.
Someone explain to me how Washington is going to get a stop. I want to hear it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. I'm seeing a lot of
don't say.
This
is one of the worst defenses
defense EPA
with a terrible secondary against a good quarterback with good receivers backed by a good rushing attack, guys. The Rams are going to score 30 points, okay?
So we just need 24.
Okay, but
from
that's
Sammy
the thing,
Boy.
though. All these games that Brett is I'm done with Washington, guys. I'm done.
But that's exactly when you need to buy.
No,
Everybody's done.
No.
Everybody's
to be
done. That's
done.
right.
Until they're getting 10.5, you have to be done. Guys, when was the last time Sam Howell did something positive? It's been a month. They haven't scored 20 points in a month. It's been a month.
I would still go back and bet them against Dallas. That's how that's how committed to the bid I am.
They keep losing by 30 because they're awful. Sam Howell is bad, and they can't stop anyone.
The two biggest points are the fact that the Rams defense is not good at stopping the pass. 25th in pass defense success rate. And like Brett said, they can't generate pressure, which is the perfect reason why sacks are a quarterback stat. Like, this guy can find a way to get himself into the ground, but if pressure isn't something that he has to deal with, then that could be extremely helpful for our cause. And off the bye, I mean, this just doesn't seem like a 1-2-3 Cancun outfit to me.
The coach is fired. There's been podcasts, articles. Everyone knows he's fired.
We'll get to coaches being fired in a bit, but I think we're getting leverage here for sure. We've seen the contest lay points. We've seen the contest show some love for the Rams. Yeah.
Not if these idiot sharps keep betting Washington, because then the line's going to be 5.5 or 6, and nobody's going to take it, and then the leverage might be on the other side. Guys, this is two offenses that on paper should move the ball, but one is much better and has a much better quarterback, and the other quarterback is going to make way more mistakes. This is Rams by 14.
What's the total on this game?
50.5. It's moving up.
So, Mo, you have alternates in your account. You've got alternates in your account then.
Yeah, I love a Rams alt on this. Why not?
There you go. All right, let's go back to my hometown of South Florida. Miami and the Dolphins, the greatest football team. The greatest football team play host to the New York Jets. And I can't believe what I'm seeing, but off of the best game of his career and with a 5-point line adjustment in their favor, Mo is buying right back in to the idiotic New York Jets.
Because what if this is still on the wrong side of 7? What if this line should be 5? What if Miami is barely better than the Jets right now?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Look at Miami's team. They have nothing left.
Zach Wilson still played in games where he couldn't get first downs. That happened this year. That is more likely to happen on Sunday than him throwing
first downs.
No, I watched every snap of the Giants game, okay? Every snap.
You're stuck
For
on that one
55
game for
I
the
am.
rest
I
of your
really
life.
am. That'll be burned. That is clockwork orange burned into my retina.
Is Tyreek out? What are you saying? What am I missing?
We have a limited Tyreek against the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Guys, we have a quarterback who is clueless if he doesn't have the biggest, most open throwing lanes, playing behind an offensive line without, I think, 3 starters against an elite pass rush. I mean, guys, I think Miami could have some success pounding the rock because they did that last time against the Jets and it worked a little bit. That is not how you cover 8.5 points, okay?
This cap is simple to me. I'm buying a team that got embarrassed in primetime, that were up 2 touchdowns with 3 minutes to go and lost the game. And I'm
How did they
selling
get
the
those
team.
2 touchdowns? Tell me.
And I'm Dolphins DST never regressing. Like, why would it ever regress at this point?
Those were meaningless touchdowns. They started those drives on the 8.
Yeah, and I'm selling the team that had its quarterback, who is the worst of all time in a large sample, have the best game of his career. I'm selling that team. What Zach Wilson did on Sunday is not
when they
predictable.
played the Broncos and they won by 30. So why don't you just look at how these teams match
Broncos.
up, which is the Jets are much healthier. The Dolphins, half their team is out. So I'm not trusting this team right now. There's no possible way I would ever lay more than a touchdown with this team right now. Against the
This
Jets.
total is crazy. This total is crazy. 37.5 in a game with Mike McDaniel coaching.
This could also be howling winds, 25 mile an hour winds.
Don't buy into that. That this is one of those field level versus city level things. The way Miami Stadium is constructed, it doesn't allow wind to swirl as much as you'll see. So I wouldn't be too concerned about wind.
What about temperature? Can they sweat the Jets off the field like they do early in the year?
The Jets might win this game. This is like those times we always said, why can't the Jets beat Buffalo when they're 10-point dogs, and then they do?
This will be so infuriating if they rip off 3 wins in a row. I will be just get the most meaningless 8-9 record. I'll be so pissed.
What are the Jets playoffs odds right now?
They gotta be like
they're probably not even on 3%, the board, are they?
Less than
they're
1%.
probably like 3% to make the playoffs.
Less than 1%.
Jesus. All right. Speaking of coaches that are gone, we go to New England, where the Patriots play host to the Kansas City Chiefs. Mo's Kansas City Chiefs, who were absolutely jobbed against Brett's Buffalo Bills last week. Of course, Kadarius Toney was offsides. I don't think anybody can dispute that. But why didn't they call it the other couple times? You know, if they flagged the first one, maybe he lines up correctly on the last one. And they take away an absolutely brilliant play. The Chiefs were a full yard per play better. I'm not salty or anything. This goes from the Chiefs being 10-point road favorites down to 8 now in the contest. And Bill Belichick is an absolute lame duck, just like your boy Rivera. He's fired. The season's over. Belichick's gone. And yet, Mo, you're fading your chefs and taking the Patriots.
And yet, what do the Patriots keep doing? Walking out there, playing defense, playing their butts off every week. They should have won the last 4 games in a row. We all know this.
You'll never forget the Colts game. I'll never forget the Giants game. You'll never forget the Colts game in Germany.
Yeah, I mean, they should have won that game. They should have won the Giants game. But, missing 35-yard field goals, not converting inside the 10 multiple times against the Colts. But this defense is showing up, playing well, and Bill Belichick has always done a pretty solid job against Patrick Mahomes ever since 2019. I mean, got wrecked a couple times the very first year, but his defenses have defended this Chiefs team credibly, and I guess it just comes down to, can Bailey Zappi score 14 points? It's not that hard to score 14 points, because that might be enough to cover this. Chiefs score 20, 21, something like that. But Yeah, I just think this line's a little bit too high. The Chiefs. How are they running away from somebody right now?
I don't
Neither
know what
Brett
to do
nor
with
I
this
have
team
a
anymore.
Yeah, we don't have a strong opinion on the Chiefs. My only reasoning here was buying the Chiefs off of a loss and selling the Patriots off of an outright win. But other than that, I've got no, like Brett, I don't know how to cap this Chiefs team.
How do you cap for these receivers?
Because, yeah, especially when I've seen them. I literally saw them win a Super Bowl with Sky Moore, MVS, and Tony. Like I've seen it with my
Juju.
eyes that when it matters the most, they can win football games, right? So they're so confounding, which means just for me, that means stay away.
Tony also had a dreadful drop on, I think, 2nd and long. Oh my God, this guy is just maddening. But then they'll hand it off to him and he'll get 15 yards. And I'm like, look at that juice. Just like in college.
And he could just house every single punt return too. It's just like, he's crazy. Once he has the ball in his grip, let him go. But getting the ball in that grip is a problem.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. DP had a strong opinion in this game. Would love to hear why, but we'll move on to the next split contest. It is a divisional tilt in the NFC South. The Falcons and Panthers, a double sounder game. Brett's got the biggest opinion on this game, which was 2.5 on the look ahead in favor of Atlanta, but we are getting the full field goal in the contest, and Brett is on the ultimate devil side. Absolutely nobody wants the Commanders. Absolutely nobody wants the Carolina Panthers, but Brett Colson.
Yeah, that's the first part. But also, another rule, Desmond Ridder laying a field goal on the road. Another rule, Desmond Ridder as a public favorite on the road. Like, how many times... I know they just covered at MetLife against the Jets. Like, congratulations, you were pitiful, still got the job done. But, man, this team is 27th in total DVOA with these weapons. This offensive line, 25th in offense DVOA, laying 3 here against a division opponent is a joke. So, yeah, I will take the ultra contrarian Panthers to... I actually like them to just win this game. I think this is the end of the Falcons season here.
Yeah, the only thing the Falcons are very good at is stopping the run. 2nd in rush defense EPA, 11th in success rate. Everything else I'm seeing here is shades of orange and red for a not so great team. We're in a spot right now where if we have any chance of doing anything in this contest, we need leverage. So the Panthers are also in my top 5. Mo, I would love to hear your case for the Atlanta Falcons.
I just think they should be laying the hook. I mean, you guys realize they destroyed the Bucs last week, right? +2 yards per play. They should have won that game by 20. I mean, they missed multiple field goals and I think turned it over on downs on the 3 or something.
50-yard field goals. 50 plus. Like, come on.
Hey, but they marched. Desmond Ridder had 8.7 yards per attempt on a high volume.
Well, he's got the best receiver in football on his team, so.
That Bijan?
Kyle Pitts, huh?
Drake London is a man.
Well, that's what's sick is we've just said 3 names and they're all filthy. Why isn't this team good?
Because
somebody explain.
Yards per play says they are good. I mean,
no, net yards per play they're 0.1.
That's solid. I mean,
it's actually pretty good. It's way better than I thought it would be.
The Panthers are the worst team in the NFL, and it isn't close.
Yeah, for sure. But this is still something Ridder.
I need more than 3 if I'm going to take the worst team in the NFL. I mean, that's
you and everybody else in the contest. The Atlanta Falcons will surely be.
Well, what's this going to close? Is it going to close 3.5 on Saturday? I guess not even close. What's it going to be on Saturday?
I feel like if I'm the book, I make it 3.5 at the very last second for some buyback, just for some liability purposes. But maybe they just want the side. Maybe they're just going to go all in on needing the Panthers this weekend. That's certainly something that is not out of the realm of possibility. We move to another game where I'm all in, guys. I've seen enough. Brett was right. Jake Browning is just good. Jake Browning is a good quarterback. And I've got the Bengals. -3. This was 1 on the look ahead, moves all the way to 3. I guess because they moved to Nick Mullins and Justin Jefferson was in the hospital. I mean, this is a monumental move, but that's also staying. I think the look ahead was absolutely idiotic that the Vikings were road favorites coming into this contest. Don't love it. This isn't in my top 5. I want to just confirm that. Yeah, it's right in the middle of my pack, but it's the last game that I'm giving confidence points to. And I'm just extremely impressed by this Bengals coaching staff, allowing Jake Browning to be aggressive. They've unlocked Chase Brown, and we said it. What's the best thing for a quarterback who needs some help? How about having Jamar Chase and T. Higgins out there running routes? So I'm a believer. I think this team is frisky. I think this line is probably fair, and if it's probably fair, then give me the better passing attack, right? Better passing offense.
The fish side?
Sure. I've taken all Devil Dick sides so far, Mo. I got to take one fish side.
I mean, I'm just saying if there's a tiebreaker, that should probably be it, right? But
are people going to line up to take the Bengals, though?
I don't know. I think they're going to – it looks like they probably are. I mean, who's going to take Nick Mullins?
People have been
Bengals are
slobbing
doing
on Nick
it. They
Mullins.
score 30 every week.
I've heard something Chernobyl talk about Nick Mullins for multiple weeks, wanting him to get in there for Dobbs.
I always thought he played pretty good for Shanahan, but maybe that was just all Shanahan.
Everybody plays great for Shanahan except for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Dude, this move was crazy. I mean, they can't be that much difference, right? I don't know.
I just think the look ahead was stupid. I think the move is insane if you look at the look ahead, but I think a look ahead of 1 is just idiotic.
I get it, but like also look at I'm with you. First of all, I want to say like Jake Browning has played legitimately very well, even under pressure at times. I think he's made good throws and good reads, and kept his head about him pretty much the entire time he's been on the field. But this is still Brian Flores against as green of a player as you can have taking snaps pretty much. I mean, I know he's not like a young kid or anything, but he's barely taken an NFL snap. And, this is Flores against that. That's terrifying, dude. And the Bengals still absolutely suck on defense.
You're right about that. Mo's doing all the talking, but Brett, you are the highest on the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, this is just Dobbs to Mullins. I've been dumping on Dobbs for weeks, and yeah, I mean, I'm sour about last week too because Dobbs scored 0 points for 3.5 quarters. Mullins comes in and just gets them a push against us, really tilting. But yeah, I mean, this is just like now the Vikings have an actual quarterback who could sit in a pocket, play football, add some stability to this offense. Dobbs is not a quarterback.
Just an actual quarterback.
But Dobbs is not a quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
It's but is Mullins? Is Mullins?
Yes, he plays quarterback.
I'm telling you, all these people are lurking around, Mo. These people that have just been pining for something Mullins to play quarterback.
Well,
the Vikings are going to be quiet. The Vikings are going to be sneaky popular.
Brett's one of them. Brett is right. You cannot. Nobody can say that Brett wasn't first on the Dobbs fade train. He's been hating on Josh Dobbs for weeks.
And I love that's the thing though. I love him as a person. I think he's great as a teammate, but he's not a quarterback. So I see this as a good opportunity to fade Browning too, off back-to-back wins. The guy, like you said, just has to face Flores now. Defense that quietly is among the best in the NFL. This is a top 5 defense in EPA. Like, this is a legit unit. So I think Browning's going to struggle this week.
Look, I'm rooting for you. I'm still somehow drawing live for my Vikings to win the division bet at plus 700 because they have those 2 games against the Lions to end the season. So I hope you're right. I hope Nick Mullins is an actual quarterback. Steelers at Colts. Colts were minus 2.5 on the look ahead. That has come down to -1. Sounds like we could get Mason Rudolph in this game if Trubisky starts off slow. Tomlin said that he was going to take some snaps this week, and there was going to be a quick hook, or excuse me, if Trubisky struggles, Kenny Pickett is still injured for the Steelers. So that's maybe something to keep in mind. I had really no idea what to do with this game. I took the Colts. I hate Gardner Minshew, but buying them off of an absolute drubbing last week seems like it might be intelligent. So I had to flip a coin. It came up Colts. Brett, you flipped a coin and it came up top 5.
Yeah, I like you did. I don't know what to do with either of these teams right now, really. Like, the Colts suck. We've been saying that. That has been
Brett's
established.
rule, fade them both. We want to fade them both.
This is literally what this game is.
I would like the Colts last week, but that was just a contest play. Like, that's why they were in our top 5, which we tried to get them on the card. I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, thankfully.
This is just, it's just not a good football team, and I really have a hard time laying points against them, or against the Steelers. Coming off extra rest, they just lost 2 games to 2-10, now 3-10 football teams, like, or whatever the records are. I mean, 2 bad football teams. So I mean, the stock is at its lowest on Pittsburgh right now. My worry is that the Steelers' offense just might be cooked. Like, Trubisky's been a disaster. There might be drama with this receiver room right now. Guys not showing up to play. Big Ben is on his podcast just ripping the culture of this team right now. Like, this is the worst it's been in Pittsburgh, and they're still right in the thick of a playoff race. So it's crazy. I took the dog here because I do think the Steelers are a better team. It's just hard because I don't know if their heart is really there as a football team.
Bottom of the heart rankings.
The
biggest
heart
Which
rankings.
is so crazy as a Steelers. Like, it's just, it happened so fast. Maybe it was
So
Big
the
Ben.
biggest
Maybe Big Ben was holding it all together.
The biggest fear for me, and now that I'm looking at it, if I flipped another coin, it might be a little more weighted towards Pittsburgh, is that the Colts cannot stop a nosebleed on the ground. 27th in rush defense EPA, 29th in success rate, 26th in DVOA. The Steelers might just be able to run straight. This might just be the Jaylen Warren game, right? He's kind of been on ice these past couple of weeks, plotting a little bit. But if there's some lanes to run, he might be able to exploit them in this contest. The last two more split contests. That's what happens when you've got 15 games on the slate. We go out west for Niners at Cardinals, excuse me. This was 13.5 on the look ahead. Opened 14, I'm seeing. Has come down to 12 in some places. It's showing 12.5 in the contest. And Mo has the biggest opinion on this game. And I was very surprised, Mo, to see an X next to Cardinals. Even you are shaking your head.
Because
Once
every
again,
time I fade the
Mo
49ers,
is fading the Niners.
they win by 20, man. I don't want to do it, but man, look at these injuries for the Niners. They got nothing left on defense. Nothing. Except for Fred Warner. That's it. I guess Bosa and Chase Young, but like it's literally like backups everywhere else. I mean, this is crazy. Their best corner is out. Hufanga's out. Multiple interior linemen out. I mean, dude, this is like Dre Greenlaw. He's one of the best linebackers. These players aren't for sure out, but they haven't practiced. Like none of these players has stepped foot on a practice field this week, or maybe they are already announced out, right? So this is a mash unit defense against a Cardinals offense that is getting healthier, specifically with Marquise Brown. I think he's very important here. They threw the ball to Trey McBride 20 times last week, or not last week, but the prior week, their last game. That is not going to work here. They have to throw the ball downfield, but Marquise Brown maybe can do that. He was banged up. I think he did play in that game, but he only had 3 targets. I mean, this should be they're able to attack downfield a bit, and they have a quarterback as bad as I've dumped on Kyler Murray at times. He at least can move, and that's going to be very important with this O-line facing outside pressure here. I think they can pound the rock a little bit here too. I mean, 49ers run defense is not good, and both their interior linemen are out, so maybe just shorten this game a little bit, run straight. I don't know how the Cardinals are going to get a stop though, but maybe they just score 20 points and cover this. So I kind of feel like they can here. It's a good spot for them off the bye here against a team that shouldn't be really all that fired up. Probably just comes in, gets a workman-like win. I mean, this reminds me a little bit of that Packers-Giants game, except for I knew that was going to be not necessarily a W, but like it's still facing a bad team on the road when that bad team is off of a bye, and this team has had multiple big victories in a row. It's just not a good spot to be laying a bunch of points, I don't think. So a frisky enough quarterback here, I think, to hopefully cover a double-digit number.
And that's it. Like this is the letdown spot, right? Like take a breath. You've got the Ravens on Christmas next week. Just get through this healthy. You don't need to pound the crap out of your opponent like you've done the past month. Like I just don't see it here. I don't see them getting up for this game like they have been.
Yeah, my coin came up Niners in this spot. I have really no analysis here. I thought that there's a little bit of value getting this off of 14. But that being said, looking over this injury report and knowing that I've been, I think, higher on Kyler than the rest of you guys this year, I don't think the market initially was rating him correctly. But then we've seen some bad Kyler as of late. So, yeah, didn't really have a strong opinion on this game. So let's move on to the final game.
Should have talked about it, Rich.
What is this, just Raiders by infinity?
Yeah, they fumbled again on their own 10, dude. I mean,
God, Chargers are going to Charger. I sent these guys a message a couple hours ago. I was like, do we need to talk about it tonight? And Mo was like, yeah, we need to talk about it. And I was like, yeah, how could something stick be only getting 3 points?
Creighton
and then everyone's
Prep's own.
Everyone's on the other side. So we didn't talk about it. Yeah, I just didn't understand. So this was my cap for this game. The Chargers have been bad when their entire offense has been Justin Herbert throwing to Keenan Allen. Now you remove Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. What do you get? How bad could this team be?
This bad.
Evidently very bad.
Chargers might land 32 out of 32 for me this week. I might take DeVito and Bryce Young over these guys.
Yeah, hey, you had them 29, I think, this week, right? I think that was the lowest.
I was super low on Chargers, but I'm super low on Raiders too. I mean, O'Connell is so bad.
I think you were spot on.
Something O'Connell. The final game, double bird game. As the Eagles travel to the Pacific Northwest to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Eagles were -4 on the look ahead. Open to shade higher. I'm seeing 4.5, but we've settled at 3.5, painted across the board. Once again, Mo, I think you and I are on opposite sides for all of these games. Mo is going back to the well with the Seattle Seahawks. And I think this cap begins at the quarterback position for Seattle. Is it going to be Geno Smith or is it going to be Drew Lock? Because Drew Lock, I guess, was a little frisky last week. They looked like they were in firing range for most of the game, but I think the larger sample for Lock is not very good. So I think there's a large delta between these two quarterbacks. Mo, I'm assuming you think it's Geno, and I'm assuming that's why you have selected the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering. I really don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, it said he logged a limited practice, I believe. So and they're listing as a groin injury. I thought he hurt his arm.
He wasn't on the injury report, and then just randomly on Friday they're like, "Oh yeah, Geno's groin kind of bothering him."
Why are they showing pictures of a purple arm on?
I don't understand.
On Twitter. I'm confused. What is wrong with this guy? Does he have multiple injuries? Is he like Derek Carr?
I think Seattle has been known for their shenanigans, right? Like they're one of those teams that lists everybody on the injury report all the time. I feel like they're one of the biggest chicanery teams. So I'm operating as if Drew Lock plays. But yeah, I mean, why didn't Geno play last week?
I don't know. I capped this for Geno, and I still like the Eagles quite a bit.
Yeah, so I capped it for Lock, and I didn't have the Eagles higher because then if it is Lock, then the entire universe is going to have Eagles minus 3.5.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
What if the Eagles are just a mediocre football team, guys? What if they're just above average?
Mediocre.
They
They're
can't.
two trenches. They're two trenches to be mediocre.
It breaks my brain that this team could not be like a top 8 team. I just
Well, they
Their
have a bad
secondary
quarterback.
is
That's the problem.
garbage.
They cannot. The two most important things, right? Passing the ball and stopping the pass. They're just not very good at.
AJ Brown, guys, he's
He's
kind
their
of
entire offense.
regressing because people are like, let's make somebody else beat us. Like, I'm seeing Devontae Smith open at multiple weeks in a row now, and I do not think that's a coincidence. I think everyone is just locking in on A.J. Brown. Let's see if Jalen Hurts can make a play. He's not making enough plays because I think we all know he's not that good of a quarterback. And this secondary stinks. The back door is always open with the Eagles. That is one thing. But yeah, obviously, I do not want to be having much. But then again, what if it's Drew Lock and what if he has another credible performance? He was fine. Again, like they lost because their defense gave up 10 yards per play. I mean, they moved the ball in that game.
Let's talk about it. What if it is Drew Lock? What do we do? Because that is the free space of the week, but everybody's going to be
Drew
on.
Lock and you go for ultra leverage. You put the Seahawks on the card.
Yeah, because the line is still only going to be 6.5. It's not like it's going to go through 7.
It's not going to get to a touchdown.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to buy into
glad
getting
we're
the
all
Eagles
aligned on this one.
getting the Eagles off of multiple losses. I mean, we're idiots, but like we're going to have 1,000 spots of leverage if we
At
do
least.
it.
For sure.
At
For
least.
sure 1,000.
And we're in a position where this is the only way we can make money in this contest right now is by taking the obvious leverage.
Yep. You're right.
So those are the split contests. We'll take a quick break, and then we will get to the Lone Wolves. I want to start with Brett, who has a Lone Wolf. But by the way, for those of you watching this on YouTube, it's going to be, again, a little scaled down because I'm traveling a bit. So you'll still see our pretty faces. We'll get a lower third going, but it won't be as fancy as normal. So apologies for that. Brett has a Lone Wolf bubbling his top 5. It's a home team laying a heap of points. But I do think with their opposition coming off of a primetime win as dogs, I don't know how many people are going to be lining up to lay the points with the New Orleans Saints, Brett. So I think you might be on an island with this pick, not only amongst the collective, but amongst the people in the contest as well.
Yeah, that's the idea. And you guys know how much I hate this Saints team.
The New Orleans
This is a lie. This is a lie. I'm sick of this lie. He loves the Saints.
Well, I hate laying 6. That's for sure. But the whole world is lining up to bet Tommy DeVito right now off a short week. The guy just won NFC Player of the Week. This is the week you have to fade the Giants. Absolutely 100% contest play. I wanted to put this in my top 5, but it is really disgusting to click Saints minus more than like 3 right now.
Did he say 4?
No, get in there.
What?
4? It's 6 in the contest.
Yeah. I said it's gross to
Anything
click
more than
them
4?
more than a field goal right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you said 4. I was like, Brett thinks the line's 4?
Oh, I am aware that it's 6.
Yeah, I've got nothing on this contest.
This is another one where we need to fade both teams. We need
Who's
need
buying
them to
the Giants
swap
off this win? Not me.
matchups.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, Mo. Nothing to do with either of these
Dude,
teams.
how can anyone lay points with the Saints right now? Did you guys see
That's the point. But that's the point. That's why
that
Brett's
game
doing
last
this.
week? They literally might have got outplayed by the Panthers at home. They had 200 NFL yards of offense in a dome facing the Carolina Panthers. That is not easy to do. Okay.
Nate Jameis.
We move to the AFC South and Mo, who also has a lone wolf bubbling his top 5. And he is buying a team that won on Monday Night Football in miraculous fashion. That is the Tennessee Titans -2.5 against the Houston Texans. This is another quarterback injury game with CJ Stroud in. Look at Mo.
I don't know. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
I capped for Davis Mills, and that's why I picked the Texans.
As
because
did
nobody's
I.
going to pick the Texans. We both have them in our top 5. I spoiler alert, I had the Texans 1. I still might put the Texans 1, especially if Davis Mills is the quarterback for the Houston Texans.
Well, I have nothing to say. I mean, I don't know what to say.
A spot. People are going to line up, absolutely line up, if Davis Mills is the quarterback, to lay points with Will Levis, the idiot, who just handed the Dolphins multiple touchdowns.
Will Levis,
and we've seen Davis Mills get first downs.
Yeah, it's Levis against a team that's playing for its life, right? And the Titans are playing for nothing. So I will take the team that nobody else is on that still has a pulse and is playing for something. I think this is a great spot. Another gross one, though.
Nope.
Did Brett freeze? Brett froze for me.
I think I froze a little bit there. Yeah, this is completely off the board, right? No lines available. I'm seeing fake ticket count. Fake ticket count has 72% on Titans. If Davis Mills is named the starter, I will certainly be heavily interested in Houston at this.
What about these Houston injuries, though? What if they got nothing left? They got injuries on defense. They got injuries on offense. I'm seriously worried about this. Is so, Rich, you're sitting here telling me, well, the only good thing about the Chargers was Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert. I mean, dude, the only good thing about the Texans was literally their passing offense. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Tank Dell and Nico Collins.
That is true.
And CJ Stroud playing at MVP level. I understand that. I certainly understand that. But that's ultimately why people are going to line up and take. Everyone else is seeing that too. So that's why there's going to be 1,800 people on the Titans if Davis Mills is named the starter.
How many points does this move if it is Stroud? Does it move like 6.5?
If it's Stroud, like is this 2.5 a hedge? It has to be, right? I'm assuming Stroud is going to be valued like any elite quarterback, which is 5 or 6 points, right? But I guess that does get you to 2.5 off the 3.5 look ahead.
Yeah,
so they're
yeah.
just assuming Stroud's out.
The Texans were -3.5.
Yeah, so I guess they would go back to being favorites. Maybe sub field goal because of all the injuries, but yeah.
I just want to say something that has nothing to do with this game, and that's that I feel bad for all of the people, and I think Steven, my editor, was one of them, who had Raiders season win total under. They are literally going to go over their win total, guys. This is incredible because this is like a bottom 4 team, and they're going over their win total. And the win total wasn't like 4.5. It was 6.5. And they're still going to go over, and this team is atrocious. That is the state of the NFL this year.
You know who you can blame for them going over? By the way, another game that Zach Wilson couldn't get fucking first downs in.
No, he got first downs until he was on the 20. And then it was time to kick field goals every single time.
My lone wolf is the lowest. I guess we'll just buzz through it. It's Bucs at Packers. I'm just taking the hook. If you're going to give me the hook in this spot, I'm taking the hook. Okay? The Bucs, trust me, I'm very concerned about this team. It's a bunch of vets that are probably over it. Last week was very 1-2-3 Cancun, getting absolutely shredded, but somehow coming out with the victory against Atlanta. But I just believe in Baker and this offense to be able to score some points against a Jordan Love who was more Jordan Love last week than I think people anticipated. Like, people wanted to start crowning this guy next Packers quarterback, Favre to Rodgers, Rodgers to Love. When Love is just, he's pretty good. And this Watson injury is very impactful for this Packers offense. The type of gravity that he creates, even when he doesn't have the ball, I think is meaningful. So yeah, if you're just going to give me the hook, I'm going to take the Bucs in this spot. Mo, you were the highest on the Packers, giving them no confidence points though, but you have to pick up the shield and defend the Green Bay Packers.
I kind of do lean that way. If I had to bet this game, definitely no questions about it, I would take the Packers. Because the Packers have a good coaching staff and a pretty good quarterback, so we know they can move the ball. And on the other side, you have a Tampa Bay defense that was once pretty solid, I think, definitely had talent, but is absolutely destroyed by injury, guys. I mean, basically every name you know on that defense hasn't practiced this week. I mean, it's at all three levels too. I don't know what's left of this Bucs defense, and we know what their coaching staff is going to do on offense, plunge the ball. And it might work somewhat against this Packers team because they can't stop the run, but I don't know, man. Tampa Bay has a horrific rushing attack. Rashad White isn't good. He's an okay receiver, but their line also can't block. And yeah, I don't know if that's going to do it, keeping up with what I expect to be a bounce back spot for this Packers offense. A Packers offense that I thought was going to have some problems last week. It was a rough spot for them. I'm willing to give them a pass for that game and just say not at a great spot. Young team coming off multiple wins. Flush that tape down the toilet and just play better this week. And I think they will. The Bucs, if they were healthy, it would be a different story. But this is not a healthy Bucs team. They don't even have Chris Godwin, I don't think, man. I don't know. I just can't believe in this Bucs team when they have this many injuries.
Why does it say that the Raiders are up 35-0 and it's not even halftime yet?
Because I know people say this, but Brandon Staley should actually be fired at halftime. He should not make it to the second half.
Dude, 5 different players have scored touchdowns, and none of them is named Devontae.
One of them's named Jacoby. It's good for your best ball shares.
That is good for the best ball shares.
I don't think he's caught a pass outside of that, though.
He hasn't, but that's okay. We'll take it.
One more lone wolf, and it's DPs. I guess we'll discuss it for him. Bears at Brown. He's laying the 3.5 with Cleveland. I almost did it. Almost. But again, if you're giving me the hook, I got to take the Bears in this spot, although I've got absolutely no conviction. This was my last selection. Brett, you've got some love here for the Bears. They bubbled your top 5 right behind the Saints. So put a pin on the Lone Wolf segment with Chicago.
What if the Bears are better than the Browns right now? Because they might be. The way this Browns roster looks right now, on the offensive line, in the secondary, I think the market's underestimating the Bears still. This has looked like
they get steamed 4 points every week. But somehow they keep opening these lines wrong still because the Bears still keep getting hit by the sharps.
Mm-hmm. This has looked like the team that was generating all that buzz before the season. Improved defense. Now it looks like they have some studs, some stars on this defense.
I'm just blown away. I'm blown away at Brett selling his beloved Cleveland Browns.
But dude, it's the injuries, man. This team is just depleted right now. I don't think this is the week to be backing the Browns.
Did Rich look at the injury reports this week? I want to know this.
No. I did a cursory look.
Cancel this show.
Kind of matters in football a little.
Well, okay. So the games that I was certain of when it came to capping, this is my 1-pointer. I've got no idea what's going on in this game whatsoever. Especially a Browns team where they have a brand new quarterback. I didn't get to lay eyes on much of the game last week. I mean, I'm not going to... I'm seeing Flacco stories about how he owns at that stadium, whatever, second best record. I'm just clicking the Bears in that spot when people are all over Flacco.
Go Tinker. This is embarrassing. Too many Tim Tams, not enough time spent working.
I'm trusting the collective. All right, the Lone Wolves. I had the Bucs. Brett had the Saints. DP had the Browns. Mo had the Titans. Let's get to the card.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Brett leads us off. Best record last week, best record of the season, and he's got the most devil pick. Well, one of the most devil picks you could make this week.
Yeah, I'm fading Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder. I am on the Panthers. I will say, I did it last week too. I don't love this being directly on 3 because we're going to get that half point more often than any other number. But I just think the Panthers win this game anyway. Let's go.
Wow.
I'm up next. I went 3-2 last week. Had a better record than DP. And I've got the commies because I'm charging at the football full steam, fully expecting Lucy not to pull it away.
Okay, I'm not going to feel bad about my pick then if this is your guys' picks.
Yeah. Tell us your awful pick.
I got the 8-point dog that's going to win the game, the Jets.
Zach Wilson as a public dog. We're doing this.
Because it's
I guess everybody's going to hit everybody's
adjusted
picks.
enough to this Dolphins team that has no offensive line, and Tyreek Hill is going to get erased. Look, did you see that offense without Tyreek Hill? Now he has to face Sauce Gardner on one leg? What's he going to do?
We've got 4 split games on the card because DP rounds it off with the New England Patriots.
Well, you've got to take the Jets off and put the Cardinals on. We've got to put the 5 worst teams in the NFL on our card this week.
All right, I can deal with Cardinals. Why not?
Okay, we've got 3 consensus picks. One is the collective pick. I don't have my sounder loaded up, so I'll just give you a hint here. Can you guys guess who? There's two rah-rahs that are actually high in the 3 consensus picks. Any guesses?
Let me look at this list again. We're looking for the remaining consensus picks.
There's 3 consensus picks. 2 of them are rah-rahs. One of them is the collective pick.
I think it's Lions, Cowboys, and Jaguars.
Those are the consensus picks. Is Brett with us? Brett, can you confirm that you're with us? Brett is toast.
Yeah, he just texted us that he lost his internet, so he's gone.
Right.
He's gone. Buffalo,
let's just carry through.
It's probably a freak snowstorm.
It's the Jaguars. The Jaguars are the collective pick. Mo, you've been all over the Ravens being paper tigers these last couple of weeks, and now we have an opportunity to fade them in this spot.
Yeah, should I just scroll up in the Discord and find that message that I wrote?
Yeah, go for it.
And just read it for the people? I found it already. Like I said, guys, in the Discord. Join the Discord.
bit.ly/Discord Moose.
Here is the Ravens' schedule this year, guys. Rookie quarterback making his debut. Look how sharp Brett looks. Rookie quarterback making his debut. Injured quarterback, backup quarterback where they lost, backup quarterback, bad quarterback who beat them, backup quarterback, Jared Goff outside on the road, backup quarterback, Geno Smith, Deshaun Watson, who beat them at home, backup quarterback, Justin Herbert, and Matthew Stafford. They've faced like 4 quarterbacks who meet the threshold. Like, we're not even talking about good quarterbacks. They faced 4 quarterbacks who meet the threshold. This is an incredible stroke of good fortune, okay, that they got this schedule, but it does not mean this defense is good. I've been skeptical of this defense from square one. I think they are vastly outperforming their talent level, and yeah, some of that is probably a credit to the coaching. They do a good job there year in, year out, but This is they face like 7 backup quarterbacks. I mean, this is incredible stuff. The Ravens are not. They're not elite. They're not even great. Probably. They're just like a pretty good team. And if the Chiefs face the Ravens in the playoffs, I shudder to think of how much money I will have on the Chiefs when they're +1 in Baltimore.
People were streaking wide open last week for the Rams against the Ravens. This team cannot cover anybody. And somehow, some way, Trevor was able to play last week against a much tougher defense, albeit. And the fact that he's upright, he's going to be able to just distribute it against this Ravens secondary. Brett, I'm kind of flabbergasted at the fact that the Ravens are so heavily favored on the road in the spot.
I just don't know what Trevor is. That's my concern. I honestly thought this line was fair. I have no conviction in this game at all. So I'm a little surprised that this is the collective pick. Sorry, I'm jumping back in here after I lost connection. Interesting.
The other 2 consensus picks were also in Brett's top 5, Cowboys and Lions. I mean, what are people going to do with this Cowboys? Do people think the Bills are good at football? Because they're not.
They're going to take the Cowboys, I think, right?
Yeah, that's why I had the Cowboys low. But I think the Cowboys should be favored in this spot? Question mark?
Dude, these Bills injuries,
they stink. The Bills stink and they're hurt. They stink. Couldn't get to barely 5 yards per attempt last week. 3 quarters of just horrific offensive play by the Bills last week.
At some point, this all comes crashing down. And that's kind of been the story all season, right? Like key players going down week after week. Add 2 more this week. Micah Hyde, Epinesa have not practiced this week. Epinesa, by the way, has been the best defensive player for the Bills this season. He's been phenomenal.
What took him so long?
I don't know. But, I mean, this was the dude who was like projected to be a top 5 pick his junior year at Iowa, right? And then kind of fell off. Like this, he's an awesome player. But like the secondary is back to potentially activating Damar Hamlin again. And like we all love Damar, but Damar is the threshold. Like
RIP your comeback player bets, Mo.
Yeah, that's going to get real interesting. But like where this defense goes from being like a professional unit, battered, but like professional, to a massive liability is when Damar Hamlin is on the field and like all of these other backups on top of it. This defense is really, it's in rough shape. So I like the Cowboys quite a bit here. I'm really curious to see what the contest does though, because the contest likes the Bills as well, and they've looked great offensively. I mean, they have.
Yeah, I'm with Mo. I think the contest is going to favor Dallas here.
That's unfortunate. I'm on the wrong side then, I think.
I need the Bills to win this game, and I don't think they will, but I am just praying the market knows something that I don't here.
I absolutely need Cowboys for wins pool. Need it. All right, so the card is Jags, Commies, Panthers, Patriots, Jets. Unless Mo does the right thing. We'll let you know if we do any tinkering. Survivor, though, if you've come this far, there's a story this week about Circa Survivor. Every entry has opted for a chop except for one, Mr. Sean Perry from Something Poker, who likes his choices remaining, evidently, and has not agreed.
Well, let's talk about that. That's
chop.
more interesting than the teams
actual
now.
Survivor. Yeah, we were discussing this in the group chat. I think Circa's doing an incredible job by lending credit to people that are left, because most humans that placed $1,000 to play in this contest cannot find 6 figures to place on a football game, let alone find a book normally that will accept a wager of this size. So good for Circa for allowing these people to use the leverage that they've earned in this contest. So yeah, I don't know. I think you could leverage yourself out of needing a chop in the spot. Basically, it all comes down to what you think your card looks like, right? If you've got really horrendous picks left and you're forced to take some really dodgy spots, then maybe you would look for a chop. But if leverage is given to you and you can get some plus money down, large amounts of plus money down, I don't think chopping is EV plus.
Well, what's the difference? What's the difference between chopping and hedging? It's the same. It means
The difference is that you can middle your way to a shit ton of money by betting plus money, or excuse me, by taking points with teams that you're picking against, and you could literally win your leverage every week and still win the contest. That's the difference.
That's true. I mean, I've gone for some middles in my time, and it has worked at times. So, yeah, I hear that. What about, I guess, like, what about the fact that how much money is it to where you guys are like, okay, this might affect my life, and
That's
I think
the
I need to, like, that's because we're each getting a quarter of it too. That's the other thing.
Yeah. That's another reason why I think we would probably be more aggressive than the average person because we are only getting a quarter of the prize.
Yeah, I think right now.
And we're all gamblers.
I know.
Come on. Like, we are going to push edges way more than probably the average person in this contest.
Not Sean Perry level.
I
but
certainly, I feel like I have everything I need in my life. So if you guys want to gamble, I'd be fine with it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, like, losing isn't going to, like, we don't lose. That's the thing about equity in these spots, right? You don't actually own the equity, right? It's not in your bank account. And then Circa comes down and yoinks it out of your account when your team busts. It is just Skolansky bucks until the contest is over.
There is a number where it's painful, though.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what that number is. I haven't really thought about it, but it exists. And like, I don't think where it is right now. I don't think we would chop right now at 13. I just don't think it'd be enough. But if it got down to, I think I said 5.
What is it, 700? So that's
100K
like $1.50
a piece, I thought, right now.
Yeah,
for us.
I mean,
I always said if I win a poker tournament for 100K, absolutely nothing would change in my life.
Yeah,
it's not life changing. But
yeah,
Mil 5 is a little different.
Oh man, it's always such a great sweat at the end of the season when the selections come out. And like last year on Christmas, that one guy who there was a swing, right? There was a guy who could win it all if was it the Steelers won that game? Or it was a Steelers game, and he went from swinging to win it all to being the first to bust on Christmas.
Yeah, they lost, and then he busted next week, right?
So that's a spot where you could have live bet at halftime and gotten a really good middle on the money line. Now, is that a spot that Circa would extend some credit on? Because that's a lot of liability. I think it was like plus 300 at half that you could have gotten some money down on. But yeah, are they going to extend like 6 figures on that large of a number? I'm not sure. So yeah, we'll be sweating it out. I mean, I guess everyone's taken the Niners probably already. It's actually a tough week.
Well, no, but I think some people will probably save Niners for Christmas.
Rams?
Well, no, because
if you're talking Circa. Rams against the Commies.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Saints. People are gonna have the Saints.
I think my dad is one of 4 remaining in. Let me just pull it up real quick. So Grape Drink, the legend Grape Drink, he has a survivor where you can only pick a team to win once and you can only pick a team to lose once. So it gets extremely dicey at the end. And there's three or 4 people remaining. And his top options this week are Bengals, Colts, and Packers. I think I'm leaning Packers.
Packers is fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can take the Packers in a regular contest this week. I mean, what?
3.5. Why not?
What are you? Your other choices are going to be minus 6 anyway. It's not that different.
Yeah, this is true. So yeah, rooting on Pops. All right, that's the show. Week 15. Follow these guys on Twitter at Monowara, NUWWARAH. I'm at Rich T Ryan. Brett Colson as well, COLLSON. Although Brett, I mean, what is your tweet average? Once a month?
Not even. I've given up on X. I don't really use it.
Something X. And of course at Gridiron Gamble, where we'll post any tinkering if there is. Until next week, peace.